Welcome to My Watches with Ben. Today's video is the second in a 5-video series on the wristwatch type of GADA watch. Go anywhere, do anything. The full video series will culminate in the 5th video with my top 10 out of 374 GADA watches that exist on the market. Practically all the ones that exist on the market. Here's a timeline of the releases, the video releases. I released the first video and we're on the second right now. Each video will release on Thursdays, with the final video being live streamed on July 17th. Thursday, July 17th at 8 p.m. Mountain. In this particular video today, I'm just looking at the quality price range. It's 94 watches in this video, and that price category is $375 to $850. You'll see watches like the Tissot PRX, Seiko Alpenist, Formex Field Watch. There's some good Citizens in here, the RZE, stuff like that. The methodology I use to score the watches, that's in the first video. So if you want to know exactly how I did it, how the sausage was made, check out the first video. There's links in the description. I just didn't want to repeat the methodology in every single video. And there's other important information in that first video. Oh, this is a good time to mention, if you're short on time, I would go ahead and skip ahead to that top 10 right now using the timestamps in the description. Now I'll show you the overview of this price category. Here's a graph of the scores in the video. 27% of them were a good grade. 41% of them are just an okay grade, you know, the C+C grade. C- and below I consider failing, and there's 32% of those. And here's all the watches on one screen with my face covering the top 5. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with number 6, go all the way to number 94, and then at the end I'll show you the top 5. If you're short on time, please use the timestamps link in the description, and you can skip ahead and see those top 5. I've got some crazy hail right now, so I'm going to take a break, but now I'll just go through the watches, starting with watch number 6. Alright, so 6th place, we have the Citizen Zenshin, and it actually tied in score with the one in top place. And this one, you can't swap the strap. Strap unchangeable for the Citizen Zenshin. So that's a real downside to this one. That's too bad. All right, field vibe, I gave it 1 out of 10. Yeah, so it would have done a lot better if it was a little bit more field vibey. But yeah, let's take a look here. Oh yeah, strap unchangeable. Lume is looking good. Oh, this is the one with the small seconds. They make this watch with the small seconds sometimes, but then sometimes not. But it's looking really pretty. You know, solar movement, but you still got this cool texture on the dial. So I don't know how they do that, but that is sweet. A lot of colors are available in this one, and only $396. Like, if you're looking for an integrated bracelet watch, I didn't know about this one until I did the video, and it's clearly a standout. Titanium again, case hardening again. Yeah, this is good. All right, in 7th place is the Nautilus Sector 2 GMT. But I forgot to mention on the Zenshin, that one had a wild card. This one has a wild card too. So the top 5s in every price category go into the runoff rounds at the end. But I also choose some wild cards to go into the top in the runoff. There's only 50 watches in that final runoff. This is a wild card for the end. Some cool colors, a little bit loud in my, for me. I like more subdued colors on my watches. These are more whimsical and fun. Yeah, 100 meters water resistance, screw down crown, that's nice. This one has a bracelet extension. Notice makes the Note X bracelet extension. I have one of those on my Raven Endeavor watch, and it is so cool. It's so easy to use. It's really slick, and it's just really nice to be able to adjust your bracelet like that. And this one does have a dual time hand. I excluded like GMT watches with the bidirectional rotating bezel type of thing. But, you know, I included ones with the hand. I think that's appropriate for GADA. And looks good on a strap. Like, you could take it camping. I think that works. Lume is really good on this one too, although no lume on the second. But 8th place is the Mundane Numery. $490, only 10 thick. It's quartz movement, so that's part of why it's thinner. But, you know, this very striking white and black that Mundane is known for. And then this gigantic circle on the end of the second hand. It's cool. I wasn't familiar with this one either. I was familiar with their more famous model that they have. But this is a cool one, and it scores better than that other model. Okay, I think, you know, put it on a black NATO, it's still kind of looking classy, but, you know, it's got a little bit more field aesthetic there. Lume is not good on this. The lume is applied to the underside of the hands. So in reality, I don't think you're going to see much at all from this because they're not going to get charged up all that well. There you go. That's a good option as well. Oh, this next one is going to be, y'all like it. This next one is good. All right, in fourth place is the Seikko SP55J. 737 bucks. That's a lot for Seikko, in my opinion. But Seikos are expensive. 38 millimeters across. 12.9. So they're starting to get thicker. That's like almost dive watch thickness. 200 meters. Screw down crown. That is excellent. You know, it's very robust. It's part of the philosophy of the GADA watch. You want it to be robust, but you also want it to look really nice. This is hitting both of those elements here. I gave it a 7 for the like everyday looks and an 8 for field vibe. These are a big part of the score. You know, how it actually looks is really important for a GADA watch. You know, you want it to look nice, and that's kind of the point. So that's very important. All right, let's look at it on another strap. Yes, looks good on a gray fabric. There's probably a lot of other colors that it would look good with, other colors of straps. You know, a brown. I think Seikko offers it on a leather. The leather straps don't score well. The challenge with leather is you have a brown leather strap, we can't wear it with your black belt. Or if you have a black leather strap, it doesn't look good with the brown belt. So leather just by its nature is more limiting in what you can do. Bracelet you wear with anything. And part of the GADA watch thing is like a one watch collection. And so, or a very small number of watches that can serve a lot of different uses. And, you know, a bracelet watch is useful in so many different situations. I just think, you know, for hiking and backpacking and stuff, you probably want to change out the bracelet for that if you're going on a multi-day trip or something. All right, looking at the lume. Lume is the Achilles heel with a lot of the watches. A lot of the GADA watches, they just have these tiny circles. And every watch I've had with tiny circles is just disappointing and not very easy to read in the dark. You know, there's no orientation. They didn't increase the size of that top tip, so that is unfortunate. But yeah, this will be a wild card. Texture dial looks cool. In 10th place is the Thai Field Watch. 499 bucks, 40.5 millimeters and 12 thick. Did I give it the color match? I did. Color match day date, color day date. It gets a 1 point bonus over a regular day date because it looks better. It has a timing bezel. There's no knurling on the bezel, which is really cool. And you probably don't need it actually, but you've got a timing bezel here. You can put that pip wherever you want it. It's very subtle. I really like how they did that. The lime green second hand is fantastic. Of course, automatic matches it. Comes on a pass-through leather. As I mentioned, leather is not the best. What did I put it on? Silicone. Yeah, if you have two strap choices, I guess you go with like maybe a silicone with your leather. Because that's the challenge. When they don't give you a bracelet, you just don't have the option of kind of the GADA experience. You don't have that bracelet you can wear it on. And so it makes life a little bit harder. And yeah, you can, on other ones, like steel watches on a leather, I'll show it on a steel mesh or something. But when you have titanium and it's on a leather strap, you're kind of just stuck with two pieces or pass-throughs, but there's no really don't have bracelet options. So that is one of the limiting things with this tie. I would love to see a bracelet with this. I think that would be fantastic. And brand strength came out really low. Brand strength is determined by watchcharts.com. I use that to do the brand strength. So this one just doesn't appear in watch charts at all. 11th place is the Echo Neutra Avaro 39. 720 bucks, 39 millimeters across, and 12.5 millimeters thickness. I like that they made the date black. That looks really cool. Gives it a little bit more symmetry with these, what do they call that? Sector dial sort of thing. Sector dial goes all the way to the middle. These are just kind of reminiscent of a sector dial. It's very distinctive. And the coolest feature about it, I will show you. Boom, full lume. That is so nice. I love a full lume watch. And what I love even more than full lume watch is when they have black, solid black hands. If you have a white dial, have solid black hands. That's maximum contrast, which is what you want. You want high contrast when you're looking at the watch. That's the easiest way to tell the time. I mean, sometimes low contrast is nice. Like I'm wearing silver on silver, it just looks classier. But you know, it's pet peeve of mine when you have a white dial and then they put lume on the inside of the hands. If your dial's loomed, you don't need lume on the hands. This is better for nighttime. Full contrast in the dark. And it looks great on this blue parachute elastic. That is looking fantastic. And I've chosen it for a wild card. So we'll see how it does at the end. 12th place is the Steinhardt Ocean 39 Adventure Classic. Clearly a Rolex Explorer ripoff. And $605. There's one in the bottom price tier from Chronos that's actually a lot. I think it may even have a higher score than this one, but it's like a third of the price. So I don't think Steinhardt's the way to go if you're just doing a homage. But it is Swiss made. You get a Swiss movement in here. You get the Nivaflex. I think it's the Solita rather than the ETA. And yeah, I mean, the look is great. I haven't checked yet, but I think the Rolex Explorer is going to do really well at the end. We will see in the final runoff. I have not conducted that final runoff yet, but we'll see. All right. And look at on a black NATO, it's looking sharp. And I think you can take it in the field. I think it's going to be fine like that. They've got good lume on it, even lume on the second. Yeah, it's looking good. Total score of 83. In 13th place is the RZE Valor 38. But here's what it looks like on a strap. It's looking sharp. It is looking so good for the field. I should have given it 10. I did. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 for a field watch. I didn't give that to many watches. Like, I pretty much reserved 10 for just ones that were really, really fresh looking and they really look like a traditional field watch. So it's got the strongest field vibe possible, in my opinion. It's looking so good. It's titanium. It has case hardening. It has a titanium bracelet with it, with an extension, a bracelet extension. Look at this color match date. That is so cool with the yellow numbers. Yeah, it's definitely a wild card. I mean, I'm sure it's going to do great as a traditional field watch. Maybe even better than the GADA watch thing. Because military Arabics kind of takes it back. With everyday, you don't need all these on the dial. So that is a little penalty on the GADA watch scoring system. It's actually a bonus on the traditional field watch system. So it has a higher score as a traditional field watch. I'm pretty darn sure. But yeah, that was the RZE Valor. All right, in 14th place is the RZE Resolute Pro. Another titanium case. Another titanium case from RZE. These are right next to each other. Same score. I actually like the Valor a little bit better than the Resolute, but this is a fantastic one too. It's kind of hitting the GADA watch aesthetic better than the other one. In fact, this has a 7 out of 10. That previous one only had a 4 out of 10 for everyday looks. It has higher everyday looks, but lower field vibe. Field watches don't traditionally just have batons here. They typically have Arabics. Some Arabics. You've got the minute markings, but yeah, it comes in a green, black, yellow, and white. I don't remember what the white is like. That's probably pretty cool. But yeah, on a field type strap, it's looking good. Lumen's looking great as well. You've got a little mix of colors here too, green and blue at the cardinal directions or ordinal directions. That's cool. Very cool watch. Score of 82. 15th place is the Clemens Monroe Field Watch. $545, 38 millimeters, only 10 thick. That's great. 150 millimeters water resistance. That's good too. Brand strength on Clemens is nothing, but yeah. To my knowledge, it wasn't in watchcharts.com. You know, if it's not in watch charts, I'll give it a 1 or 2 or 3, depending on how well known I think the brand is. I don't think Clemens is well known. Here's that lume. It's going to look good on a parachute strap. In 16th place, Alexander James A3 Omen. Who's heard of Alexander James? Yeah, it's like an OP homage, 100 meters water resistance, screw down crown. Yeah, and again, no lume shot. That's what's unfortunate. No lume shot. It does actually look pretty cool on the nylon strap. I think that's viable. 17th place, $595, 38 millimeters diameter, 8.5 millimeters thick. So thin. This thing is so darn thin. Part of that, I think, is the manual winding movement. Tremendous lume, fantastic lume. If you read reviews about this, people just rave over the lume. They put just obscene amounts of lume on these markings here. They're like raised. Yeah, this has actually been on my list for a while. I've been considering this one for a field watch, a traditional field watch. It's okay as a GADA watch. It's really not without the bracelet. I put ones in without a bracelet because I just wanted to give them a chance, because not everybody likes bracelets, but it should have a bracelet, in my opinion, to really be a go anywhere or do anything watch. All right, let me check the comments. What do you think about Loris LumiBrite as a cheap field watch? I've never had one personally, as from Vlad. I've never had a Loris LumiBrite myself, but I can tell you from the comments that people love them. I've received a ton of comments on the Lorises, particularly the LumiBrite. I think I left it out of my video when I did the original field watch video, and yeah, I definitely got scolded for that because people love that watch. It's a great price. I would get one myself just because I know how much people love them. But all right, that was the SWC. 18th place, the Seiko Alpenist SPB 121. It's a classic watch. I mean, this Seiko Alpenist is beloved. There was an earlier one, I think, that was more beloved than this one, but people love this darn thing. 200 meters water resistance, screw down crown. You got crown guards, internal rotating compass bezel. It's got a lot of style. I think it's going to look good in the field too if you change out that strap. You know, the fake crocodile leather thing, I don't think is great for the field, but you put it on something else, a little bit more manly, maybe? No, I'm just kidding. I'll wear crocodile leather just fine. I shouldn't have said manly. It's not unmanly to have crocodile leather. For the field, this is going to be a better look. Lume is pathetic. It's not great lume, so that's unfortunate. These applied indices look really cool. The gold and the green, definitely like it. In 19th place is the Tissot PRX Powermatic 80, $775, 40 millimeters across, 10.9 millimeters thickness. And for whatever reason, I just had in my mind as a GADA watch, like Tissot PRX, of course. That's what people are wearing. The idea is like whatever you do the most in your everyday life, that's what you want your GADA watch to look good when you do it. So you go to the office, it's going to look good. You know, go to the beach or something, it's going to look good. Although this one only has push-pull crown. All the ones up until now, I believe. Oh no, the SWC only had push-pull too, but that's manual winder. Yeah, push-pull definitely hurts it. You're not seeing any negative points here, but that's because it's got the 100. Yeah, the push-pull crown definitely hurts it. All right, let's look here. The only strap options you're going to have for this is the other downside. It's going to be like you buy it from Tissot or you get like some cheap knockoff thing that's going to work. But you're not going to be able to use all the straps in your drawer because it's got this weird little tiny lugs attachment here. That is one downside. The green, I've heard it's not quite as green as they look in the product shots. It's more subtle. So keep that in mind if you're considering this. This one is another one that's been on my list. I've thought I really want the PRX Powermatic 80. I think after this video, I'm going to have a totally new list. Like, that's what always happens with these videos is I think that something's really cool, and then I compare it to all the other watches that exist in that category, and I find something even cooler. So I think that's the case here. The lume is pathetic. And lume is not a very huge factor. Like, even though lume is pathetic, that's only a -2 here. Lume is not the biggest factor for GADA watch, but just know that the lume is going to disappoint you. And of course, field vibe is 1. Yeah, I give it 1 out of 10 scale, so this is as low as you can get for that. In 20th place is the Nautilus Unity, $625. It's kind of smaller, 36.5. And we'll see other smaller ones in the video too. I think there's there's multiple 34 millimeter GADA watches. But yeah, 36.5. Good thickness, only 11.3. The dial is really cool, the texture. I love the sandwich cutouts here. The trapezoidal date cutout is really nice. And they have a color matched date here. It's a little bonus. Sapphire bezel or ceramic bezel. It's ceramic, it's not sapphire. That looks so cool. It's just a different look. The yellow one looks really nice. I like the yellow. Just some more fun colors. That decreases the versatility of the watch though. You know, black is going to be your most versatile choice in a GADA watch. But anyway, the lume looks fantastic. Really thick lume on the hands. I love that. Sometimes you'll have hands like this, and then you'll just have a tiny little sliver of lume. we'll see that a lot in the upper price ranges. They cut corners everywhere they can on expensive watches. I'm convinced they spend so much of their money on marketing that they have to skimp on everything else. So when you get a micro brand like Notice, you know, you're getting your money's worth. You get a loomed border to the date. That is sick. It's going to look good on a field type strap. Anyway, total score of 80 for the Notice. 21st place is the Trafford Day Tripper. $799. Kind of normal size, 39 by 12. It's pretty normal. You get a screw down crown. It's got some retro stuff going on here. I think they're trying to capture the 50s or something. You know, with the stylized text, you're supposed to think about you're riding in your van across the country or something like that. It's cool that they have the military Arabics on the outside in the chapter ring here. That's kind of neat. Okay, the loom is cool too. They mixed colors. If you've watched my stuff before, you know I love this. Loom is for fun. It's fun when the colors are different. That's really cool. If you put it on a nylon strap, I think it's going to look great. I think it's going to look good for hiking, good for the field. So this is a good GADA field watch choice. Not really any brand strength to speak of. It might even be on pre-order. I'm not totally sure. That was the Trafford. Let's go to the next one. In 22nd place is the Tuseno Windseeker. $700, 39 across, 11 millimeters thick. Nice color match date. Really cool contrasting yellow with this turquoise. That looks great. Or blue. I guess I call it blue here. Got a bunch of other colors, orange, gray, or silver, green, black. But this is looking really cool. Just our batons, and that doesn't get it the highest score. I think the best scoring is when it has some batons, the 12369 or the 369. I think for the GADA watch, GADA field watch, that's the best format for the dial. It gives you that field aesthetic, but it's still kind of elevated. I'm pointing at the Tuseno, like on the Day Tripper. You know, it's a good aesthetic. No extension on the bracelet. That's okay though. You know, put it on a NATO or something else. I think it's going to look good for the field. Loom looks okay. Looks decent. It's nice you get some on the second. In 23rd place is the San Martin Jianzhan 39 millimeters. Oh, it's SN144. That's what you want if you want to find this watch. Although their GMTs have the same designation. That's kind of weird. But anyway, here's the San Martin. Looking really, really cool. They did a great thing with this texture here. I love how that looks. Color match date. Oh, I didn't give it credit. That's the thing. Even though I go through these like 2 times, I still sometimes miss something like that. So this should have an extra point. It should be an 81. That's okay. And a lot of different colors here. A lot of colors to choose from. Let's take a look at the alternate strap option. Put it on a gray parachute strap. I think that looks pretty good. I mean, it doesn't really, even when you swap out the strap, it still has a low field vibe. It's not a very strong field vibe on this thing. And the loom is not very good either. Still better than the AP Royal Oak, but it's similar to the AP Royal Oak, the Audemars Piguet. Just pathetically tiny, thin strips of loom. But yeah, it's a cool option, and I think it's an original design. They're doing that more now. San Martin's doing more original designs, so I approve of that. In 24th place is the SWC Hyper G. $595. 40.5 millimeters diameter, 10.8 thick. 6 o'clock date, that's nice. I think this is the first grade 5 titanium we've seen. So regular titanium with AR coating, sapphire crystal gets a 1. This one also gets a 1. So there's no extra points in this particular video. I think in maybe in the modern field or traditional field, this may get some more points. You know, grade 5 is more corrosion resistant, it's more scratch resistant. It's just better. It's better in a lot of ways than grade 2 titanium you normally see. I think it's harder as well. Like the grade 2 is kind of a soft metal. It's really easy to scratch. But yeah, it's got the leather strap. That loses a lot of points. The leather strap penalty is -4. So that's a lot to take off. I really don't like leather on a GADA watch. I think it's the wrong choice. But yeah, you can do something else. Black canvas or whatever I have this. Loom is great. SWC does great loom. That's what I've learned. Oh, good. I have a comment. Torque Thunder. Hey, man, your videos are rock solid. God bless. God bless you too, man. Thank you for commenting. I appreciate the feedback and comments. 25th place is the Delma Rialto. $625, 42 millimeters across, only 9.1 thick. That is very thin watch here. Due to the quartz movement, probably. It's got an integrated bracelet. It's kind of weird, to be honest. I do like this pattern on the dial. That is really cool. Only 50 meters push-pull. That's unfortunate. So that's holding it back. All right, let's see. Oh, strap is unchangeable. Not going to be swapping out the strap, and I couldn't find a loom shot. Those are kind of red flags. Look at the tiny strips. Usually when I can't find a loom shot, you can kind of tell the loom is not going to be good. Because nobody bothered to take a loom shot and post it and be like, oh, look at how good this looks. Nobody's going to be doing that with this watch. Interesting that they engraved the standard Arabic numbers on the bezel, and they gravitate towards the center, upside down 6. I kind of do like that. It's a cool look for the bezel. There you go. There's a Delma Rialto. All right, in 26th place, the first of the not good grade watches is the Knight Atlas. Yeah, score of 79 means it is a C grade, and I only consider A's and B's to be good. C plus, this is a C plus. C plus and C get a passing yellow little seal here. This Knight Atlas looks so darn cool. This is another one that was on my list. I mean, how long is my list? But yeah, I seriously considered this one. The thing that always held me back was the price. It's just out of my price range. I just can't. I can't do $780 for something like this. But yeah, it's a cool look for sure. I mentioned this before. I love that the military Arabics are darker. They're there if you need them, but they're not annoying if you don't. Like, this is a great way to do it. And it doesn't happen enough on watches that they use different colors of text to highlight the important parts. This is fantastic. This looks really cool here. Only a push-pull crown though. That is unfortunate. It does have a color matched date, so that's cool too. Let's look at it on another strap. It's looking kind of fancy, so if the watch looks fancy, I want to show you more casual. If it looks casual, I want to show you fancy. So the Knight, it looks fancy, show you casual. Here's a casual look for it. These are all tritium indexes here. Little tiny ones, but you're going to see them just fine. Tritium is absolutely fantastic. I like that. I would have liked if these were orange at the top or something like that, but it's good. And Knight is actually issued to soldiers. Maybe not this exact model, but Knight does provide UK Ministry of Defense or something like that. It's got good heritage. In 27th place is the Erebus Ascent. And this is a wild card. Definitely a wild card. It's a very cool watch. Only $500. Well, only. Yeah, it's $500. A venturine dial. That looks really nice. Is his name Jody? I feel so bad. Yeah, I haven't watched any videos forever. Watched other YouTubers because I'm just busy working on this video. Any spare time I have. It's got a bracelet extension. Fantastic. All right, let's look at it in a casual. I put it on the black. That looks great. Black NATOs can look really classy if you get a good one. Like the seatbelt nylon one, I have it on here. I had a black NATO that was cheap, and it did not look good. It looked kind of weird. I mean, NATOs are not really my thing for every day. I think they're great if you're going out in the field, but maybe not every day. Yeah, the watch I wore today is on a Zulu strap. This one's nice, actually. NATOs is a lot of bulk. It's a lot of stuff. You've got to tuck the strap under and everything. Lumen's looking good. Yeah, that was the Erebus Ascent. Cool watch. Definitely a cool watch. Very high everyday looks. I think this looks really good. Total score of 79. 28th place is the Carl Lehman Classic Field. $550, 38 millimeters across. It looks huge on here, but it's only 38. Only 9.5 millimeters thick. Fantastic. I've never heard of this brand, but their watch looks really cool. I like the kind of sunbursty dial. You've got your 12369. There's actually a lot of stuff going on with these double indexes. So that is a striking feature. Syringe hands. Those look good. I'm a fan of syringe hands. And let's see here. Put on a gray pass-through strap. It looks okay. I probably should have shown this on a steel mesh. I think that would be a good alternate for the silicone. Silicone scores well as a GADA watch because you can wear it in the field and you can wear it around town. It's more versatile than I thought it would be. Like, yeah, silicone scores well. That was the Carl Lehman. In 29th place is the Orion Hellcat 36. $715, 36.5 millimeters. Smaller one for sure. Only 9.9 thick, that is great. 100 meters water resistance, screw down crown, nice crosshatch knurling on the crown. Cool numbers here on the dial. Interesting logo, you get a sector dial. Cool chapter ring here. Syringe hands, those are nice. It has an extension on the bracelet, that is really excellent. Loom is looking pretty good. No loom on that second hand though. The alternate strap option, kind of dress it down, that looks good. Yeah, it's a pretty standard looking field watch. Looking good. Total score of 79. In 30th place is the Kee Laurent, $432, 40 millimeters, 10 thick. Great specs there that we're seeing, 100 millimeters, but only a push-pull crown. That's unfortunate. It's looking very similar to the Oyster Perpetual, or I guess the date just, but the date is at the 6 o'clock instead. That's nice. Let's look at the loom. Oh, there's no loom shot, so I couldn't find a loom shot for this thing. It's gonna look good on a NATO, I think. I mean, it's more at home on the bracelet for sure. A little bit of a disconnect here with the case and the brushing on the end link, but only $432 only. I wouldn't be buying this one personally, but I could understand why someone would. Oh, and it's quartz. It's only a quartz movement. Yeah, well there it is. It's a GADA option. Score of 79, lots of color choices. 31st place, had to be in the video, right? The Smith's Everest PRX 25. Only 378, so almost in that bottom category, almost in that affordable category. Another 36, we're seeing a lot of 36s here. 11.4 thick. And 36 does get it a few penalty points, I believe. I don't think 36 is ideal for most men for a GADA watch. I think we want a little bit more wrist presence than a 36. And it's got this Jubilee bracelet. That's also a penalty because Jubilee is a little bit more fancy, in my opinion. Doesn't really match the field vibe, although people really like the Jubilee. I think it's just a 1-point penalty over a regular bracelet. Loom is looking excellent. Very great loom on the Smiths. It looks totally at home on this khaki nylon strap. So that's going to be a good option. This is a great hiking option. Maybe not as good for formal events, but it can do both, and that's the point of the GADA. So good choice. An okay choice. It's not quite up into the B- territory. It's just C+, but there you go. It's a cool option. I know people love it. They have claim to Everest that they debate with Rolex, but who's right? I'm not going to weigh in on that, but this is a good watch. It does have a Faraday cage and a screw down crown and 100 meters water resistance. Sapphire crystal. Good specs on this thing. Total score of 78. In 32nd place is the Henry Archer Vesterhav. I think I'm missing an E here, sorry about that. $534. It's a 40, good size, 10.5. Nice color matching date here. I actually kind of like these colors. Henry Archer has whimsical colors. They definitely go a little bit more adventurous on the colors. This one, it would probably be the one I would go for. It's the most plain. I know somebody specifically in the comments on one of my live streams, they specifically mentioned this Vesterhav as being one of the watches they like. It's got an extension on it. Loom is looking good, really good. And I think you slap it on a NATO and it still works. It's still, well, I mean, I'm not the hugest NATO fan, I'll be honest, but you can use this on a hike, sure. And you do get anti-reflective coating, that's nice. Total score of 78. 33rd place, the ProTech Titanium Field Watch. It's a 40, it's 11 thick, $550. And yeah, it's got tritium loom. Let's take a look at that. So good. This loom is so darn good. You will not be disappointed whatsoever with the loom. I love tritium loom. It's so beautiful in the dark. It's a sight to behold, particularly these blue ones mixed with the orange. They went all out with the green here. No orientation issues whatsoever. That's not going to be a problem. And as I like to do with these leather straps, you know, I can't really show it on a bracelet because titanium. So I think your best option to be like an all-rounder is going to be a silicone strap of some sort. I put it on this gray. I think that works all right. You don't get a date. That's unfortunate. And it is a quartz. You'll see that a lot with tritium watches just to keep that thickness to a decent amount. Yeah, I think this is an okay GADA watch. I really do prefer to have bracelets for the GADA watches, but Silicone is a nice alternative option. You can use silicone in a lot of scenarios. Total score of 78. 34th place is the Young Hans Form Quartz. Super slim on this one, only 7.1 millimeters thin. It's a 39.3. It's going to have a great wearing size. 532 seems like a lot. It is a Swiss watch. Well, it says made in Germany, never mind. I think it has a Swiss quartz movement. But, you know, it's a quartz watch. This isn't their solar version. I think the solar is a little better. It does have medium contrast because although you have black Arabics, that's nice, you only get silver hands. So if they were silver Arabics and silver hands, that'd be low contrast. This is medium contrast. It'd be nice if these hands were black. I would prefer that personally. That's my style. I know some people prefer silver. And yeah, the interesting gray leather strap. It's hard to find gray leather, and when you get it, it does look a little plasticky. So gray is not a very traditional leather choice. I do wonder how that will wear over time when it starts to get scuffed, because it will show like the tan underneath when it gets scratched and stuff. That's one downside to gray leather. And I think it looks pretty cool on this blue parachute elastic strap. I would probably change it to that and just keep it on that all the time. Only 50 meters water resistance and push-pull. So that's a downside to this one. Total score 78. In 35th place is the Orient Star AU 0201E. A lot of money, $843 for an Orient. 41 millimeters, 12. It's looking very piloty with these sword hands and then the cone crown. Put it in anyway. PVD gets a penalty on my system because it's not as classy as just bare steel, in my opinion. Loom shot is looking pretty good, but no loom on the second. It actually looks pretty cool when you put it on a PVD steel mesh bracelet. I think that's a good option for this. It'd be nice if the date wheel matched the color of the dial, but it's looking pretty darn good. I do like this. Again, more piloty style, but I included it anyway. It does have a power reserve here, so that's cool. You get 50 hours when it's topped up. Power 50 hours. Total score 78. 36th place, watch that's dear to my heart, at least in philosophy, is the Wasson Automatic Field Mica 6.8. I think it says Mica 6.8 on the back. I don't have a picture of that. Yeah, $845. And it's almost 43 width, 11 thick. Good size. Clearly kind of competing with the Hamilton. I would so much rather have this one than the Hamilton. Hamilton had some ad with two guys or something. Like, Wasson definitely aligns with me philosophically. If you ever see their social media campaign, it is just, I think the word is based. They are based, and I do enjoy that very much. Not to inject politics too much into this, but I guess I already did. It's not really politics, it's more religion. So I do like that these guys are Christian. You get a screw down crown, you get the crown guards. It's a rugged field watch for sure. I'm looking forward to seeing how it does in the traditional field watch video, because as a GADA watch, it didn't get very high, only 77. I mean, it's still recommended, obviously, but it didn't get into the high grade. Loom is looking really good. They even loom the military time. That's really cool. Nice triangle on that second hand. And shown here on the NATO, which I believe is included when you buy it, it's looking really good for the outdoors. It's a quality field watch for sure, but I think it can serve double duty as a GADA watch. Yeah, definitely a huge fan of the company. Total score 77. In 37th place, another really cool one, kind of competing with Hamilton, is the Dryen Heartlander. Only $500, 38 millimeters across, 11 thick. And I had to choose the full loom version. Look at the full loom. That is fantastic. I say this every time, and I'm saying it again. Just have full black hands. If you have full loom dial, you don't need loom on the hands. It's silly. It's totally silly. Just have black hands. It's going to look better, in my opinion. No, it's not even an opinion. It, by definition, will look better. You just have black hands. You don't need the white. It is very cool nonetheless. You do get a screw down crown, 100 meters water resistance. I've chosen it as a wild card for the final runoff. This will be included in the 50 watches at the end that duke it out for the best GADA watch. This one has a chance here. It's got Tudor Ranger kind of spear hand for the hour, which I totally love. I really love that hand. 6 o'clock date is nice. It's nice to get your minutes here. I like it. Total score 77. 38th place is the Malm Dalton UTC. 586 bucks, 38 millimeters, 12.7 thick. It's looking very rugged. The case design is very masculine. And then you'll see you've got your 24-hour scale here, and that is for the dual time hand. So what is this saying? It's 1600 in your alternate time zone. So that's cool to have on a GADA watch. I think it's cool to have a dual time hand that gets it a bonus down here. The one other complication, it's got a 2-point bonus for that dual time hand. I could not find a loom shot, unfortunately. You can tell from the image that it's Arabics and hour and minute. So loomed Arabics, no second. You do get a Swedish flag, that's pretty cool. I like the green and gold. And you know, you put it on another strap, it's gonna look really good. It's gonna look totally at home in the mountains on some kind of pass-through strap. It looks great. Total score 77. In 39th place, the Seiko Alpenist SPB 117. 750 bucks, 40 practically width and 13 thick. It's kind of traditional size. I mean, it is kind of thick. It's thicker than a lot of the ones we've seen. They have so many watches that they call an Alpinist now. There's just so many different ones. This one has these triangles pointing in, kind of like a monster. I know it's not exactly like a monster. And then you've got the Prospex logo here. It's 200 meters water resistance. That is higher than we usually see for these kind of watches. It's going to be rugged, I believe. I mean, no shock protection other than the standard, like, do they call it Parashock? That might be Citizens, but Citizen and Seiko both have that little retainer deal or the floating deal for the jewel. But yeah, you get your minute Arabics. You get this cool compass, internal rotating compass complication, which is on here as a penalty because it kind of, the thing is for GADA watch, maximum versatility means not having a lot of extra stuff on the dial. You know, for a field watch, I think a compass bezel is really cool, but for a GADA watch, it's just more busyness on the dial. And typically simple dials are better for like formal or semi-formal things. The loom is really bad. These little dots are so tiny, so that's not great. Put it on an elastic strap, I think it'll look good for outdoors. Total score 77. In 40th place is the Kentex Landman. 420 bucks, 41.5 across, and 12.3 thick. Kentex as a brand was totally not on my radar until somebody commented on it in one of my videos. It might have been the field watch video, so there's definitely some Kentex ones in the traditional field watch video. This is the one I thought could do best as a GADA watch. It's okay. It's a sandwich dial, that's kind of interesting. I like the military stencil style numerals, those are cool. Loom is great on this. Great loom, you do get the second as well. And you can dress it up with the steel mesh, and I think this looks good. It's not the best for wearing to a wedding or something, but it can do double duty, especially on a steel mesh bracelet. Total score of 77. 41st place is the Victorinox Field Force. 600 bucks, 42 across, 11 thick. Get your day date. It's looking very department store-ish. It's kind of a sporty style. It's not really a military style. It's not really a hiking style. They're really going for an everyday style, and I think it hits that pretty well. I like that they loomed the shield here at 12 o'clock, but you don't get second loom. Unless I miss, yeah, no second. Okay. And, I mean, you can use it as a field watch here. You put it on some kind of pass-through or a nylon strap. It does look the part. So this is a good example of a GADA watch. I think they have the philosophy down here for what that should be like. It's just not particularly inspiring. It's just kind of a watch that will work in a lot of circumstances, but it doesn't really grab any attention. Total score of 77. In 42nd place is the Dufresne Mabry Titanium. 600 bucks, 39 across, almost 11 thick. I do like the California dial here, but you also get military numerals here, so that's cool. 6 o'clock date, you do get loom on the other side of the date. Let's look at the loom. Loom looks really strong on this. They have blocks here for the loom. It looks great. And I think it looks good when you dress it down as well. Oh, it's leather. Yeah, it's too bad they don't have a bracelet. I know titanium bracelets are hard to source, Titanium's a hard metal to work with. It's a little bit more challenging and more expensive. There you go, that was the Dufresne, score 77. 43rd place is the Duckworth Prestex Varimatic. $695, 39 millimeters. I put it in as a square, so that increases the weight a little bit and the size, the presence on the wrist, because it's not just a circle here. They've got these corners that stick out. So it is a larger presence. Probably don't think of it as a 39. Comes on this kind of distressed leather, but you can dress it down a little bit more by putting it on something like a nylon. The loom does look weak on the numerals. I don't think that's going to last particularly long, but I really like the style of this. This has so much style to it. I really do appreciate that. With the textured fume dial, the gold printing, that's really nice. You don't see gold printing too often. I think it really elevates the watch to do that. It's nice to have the railroad track around here. Just England, that's really nice. They don't have to say made in England, it just says England. And that's nice. And then the different fonts they used, that's all appealing. They did a good job. It's a cool looking crown, cool looking lugs. It's a cool watch for sure. Total score of 76. In 44th place is the San Martin GMT SN144. We already saw an SN144. This is the GMT version. They kept the same number. It's an original design. Not particularly inspiring. It's just kind of, there's a lot of rounded edges here. It's okay. The dial looks really cool. It does bother me that this green is lighter than the dial itself. If they could just make this a little bit darker to match the dial, I think that would look a lot better here for the bicolor 24-hour scale. I do love a bicolor 24-hour scale, but I would like if this matched the dial, personally. And then the orange, it's a little too whimsical, and it does not match the GMT text here. So those are my quibbles. I do like the applied indices, and the hands look good. I do like the logo applied there. Do we need to say 100 meters equals 330 feet, though? So I've got a lot of minor quibbles about things they've done here. Loom is not particularly impressive. You can put it on a NATO. I think that's going to look pretty good for outdoors. Field vibe was like military. I was thinking military, hiking. You kind of want the numbers. So that's part of what went into that vibe. There's a lot of colors available. And San Martin makes a quality watch, so you don't have to worry about the quality. I would not be concerned about that. Aesthetically, there's a few things that are not necessarily ideal for me. Total score of 76. 45th place is the Armorlight Officer AL803. $399, 45 across. That's a big boy. 14 thick. Armorlight is to appeal to like law enforcement, that sort of thing. And it definitely does that. It gets that vibe. The rubber bezel is sweet. I actually do like that for not for GADA watch, but like a rubber bezel. In fact, there's a penalty with rubber bezel, I believe, for GADA watch. A small penalty here. But a rubber bezel is pretty darn cool for a watch that you're going to beat around. And it has a quartz movement that's going to be so much more robust than an automatic. You get your day date. I love a day date. And you get tritium, orange and blue. That's my favorite for tritium, is if it just has orange and blue. Double tubes on the hour. That's nice. One on the second, too. A lot of times they take the second one off because that reduces the stack height. And if you put it on something else, what was it on? Oh, leather. Leather doesn't match the utilitarian aesthetic of this. It should be on silicone or something. You can also just put it on a pass-through like this one. And I think that's all right. Maybe black would be better. Just whatever pass-through you like. You're kind of limited when you have a blue dial, so black or gray are probably the best choices for pass-through here. Or perhaps that tan. Tan might look good on here as well. Yeah, it's a cool option. Screw-down crown. Only 100 meters, though. 100 meters water resistance. Score of 76. 46th place is the Alpina Horological smartwatch. I'm not going to read all that stuff, but it's there if you want it. It's $760. 44, it's a larger size. 11 thick, that's decent. I think 11 is decent. I prefer 10, obviously, 9, 8, 7, but 11's okay. It doesn't say this here, but it has a Bluetooth quartz. So it will sync up with your watch. And there's a bonus here, you see 1. That's a regular quartz only gets a 0. This is a Bluetooth quartz. It just didn't show up on the card. Sorry about that. But it's got the points it should have. You do get low contrast penalty to have silver on a silver. And then you've got all this stuff down here, all the way up to 100. I'm not sure what that designates. Perhaps that's decimal time. Maybe that's what the one other complication is here. It's a date. You get your date there with the red hand, I believe. Loom shot, I could not find a loom shot, but it's clear from the images. It's just hours and minutes and then the indices. And if you want to take it to the mountains, I suggest putting it on a pass-through. It's going to look pretty cool on that. Instead of the bracelet, you'll save some weight and so forth. As low as possible field vibe though. It's not really looking like a field watch whatsoever. If you show this to somebody and say, oh, look at my field watch, they'll be like, that's not a field watch. I think you can take it to the mountains. You know, total score is 76. 47th place is the AON Hencrafts. $783, 40 millimeters, 10.6. And they're trying to get the integrated bracelet look and still allow you to swap it out. That's what I prefer for a GADA watch, because GADA watch philosophy is maximum versatility. Every watch is going to be more versatile if you can swap the strap. So this is what I prefer. The way they did it is looking a little bit clunky though. I don't know what they could have done differently, but this is not looking the best. Maybe it should just, these lines should stop here. They shouldn't continue all the way. That's really disrupting this here, to have the lines go all the way to here. It should just be, that's my opinion on that. I could not find a loom shot for this either. And if you put it on like this blue strap, I think it looks better for outdoors. That looks pretty good. The dial is so cool. They have some really cool dials for this. You get that dual time hand. It's a cool option. Screw down crown even, so that's nice. No extension on the bracelet. It's probably a butterfly clasp or something. Total score 75. 48th place is the Hamilton Jazzmaster. $495, 40 millimeters across, 11 thick. And yeah, if you want to rock this as your everyday, it definitely gets the sophisticated part down. Doesn't necessarily get the rugged part down. You know, you can kind of put it on a NATO. Loom is not good. What did I say for loom? There is technically some little bit of loom on these indexes, but it's very poor. It's not even really showing up on this picture. So that is not good. Yeah, you can see the loom right here. They have loom on the indexes. Again, it's just not showing up in the picture. So don't get this hoping for good loom. Score of 75. 49th place is the Valor A5 Atlas. Definitely looking like the Oyster Perpetual here. Trapezoidal date cut out here at 6 o'clock. That's pretty cool. 639. That's a lot. I do like the color contrast. Although for me, I think the orange should be a little bit lighter. That would be better. American assembly. That's cool to see. No extension on this bracelet. I believe they do offer it on this exact nylon strap that I use for all the other watches. I think that's a Valor strap that I just used on other watches. It's a high quality strap is what from the looks of it. Loom is good on this. Good loom. They love to advertise everything can jump in the ocean. So screw down crown, 100 meters water resistance. It's going to be rugged. That's what you want with the GADA watch. A watch that can take a beating and also look nice. You can just try to use it for everything. That's the idea. And I think it does well with that. It gets a C grade, score of 75. 50th place is the Hamilton American Classic PSR. $795, 41 millimeters, I think left to right, and 13.3 thick. It's time only, no date complication. It has, I believe, a constant backlight, or if this is the case, and I didn't research it, sorry for not researching this, but if it's the case that you have to press the button anytime you want to see the time, man, that's instantly disqualifying for me. I need to be able to just look down. A watch should be one-handed operation. You shouldn't have to bring in your second hand to push a button. And yeah, look into that if you're considering the PSR. That would drive me nuts. I think they have a different color here, like a blue or a green that you can get as well. But yeah, here's in the dark, it's just gonna look like that. And the strap on this is totally unchangeable. Look at how long it is. That's just what it's on. So not the best for a GADA watch, but I could see somebody wearing it to a wedding, see somebody wearing it hiking. Not the best at either one, that's for sure. But it's kind of in this middle area, score 75. In 51st place is the Cincinnati Centurion. 550 bucks, 38 across, 10.2 thick. This one, there's something about it. It really captured my attention in that original Field Watch video. I thought, this is so great. It's a better alternative to the Hamilton. You don't have a date to, at least for that aesthetic, you didn't really want a date. I'll see how it does in the traditional Field Watch video. I think there's a lot better than this. One of the reasons is push-pull crown. That is the major Achilles heel of the Hamilton khaki field automatic, is the push-pull crown. And this one also has push-pull, so that's not great. Otherwise, it is borrowing heavily from Hamilton with the mirror polish bezel, with the syringe hands. I said this in the last video, it's nice you get the red accent on the second hand. You get lume on that second hand, which the Hamilton does not have. There's a lot of things I like about this, but over time, it's lost its appeal for me. Here is the lume shot, that's looking good. Nice big numbers. The Hamilton doesn't have big numbers like this, so this is cool. And they do offer it on the NATO. At least they did in the past. I don't know if they still do. This might be on a version 2 now, but they have some cool colors you can get. It's a decent option, not the best. Score 74. 52nd place is the Wolbrook Outrider Automatic Bracelet. 621 bucks, 40 across, 13 thick. A roulette date wheel, those are fun. It is busy for a GADA watch. Truncated hour hand, those are interesting. I don't mind it, it's just kind of unique. Lume looks decent. You can dress it down if you want to. Score 74. In 53rd place, the Yema Wristmaster Traveler. 623 bucks, 39 millimeters, only 11 thick. Clearly going in on this integrated bracelet trend. This is very cool around the dial. What do they call this? Yeah, the bezel here is looking really cool with these cutouts. It's a cool style. I like the Venetian blind pattern here. I love the French spelling here, and it just says France. That's very cool. Let's look at the lume. Lume is bad. It's not good lume. Strap is unchangeable. You're going to be stuck with this strap, so just make sure you like the strap. You're getting it for the strap. You want, or for the bracelet. You're going to want it to look like this. It's a cool watch, but definitely has some limitations. Score of 74. 54th place, the second hour Mandala MK3, or Mark III. Third iteration, I suppose. 594 bucks, 40 millimeters across, 10.5 thick. The dial is just really cool. The hands are cool with this little these cutouts here. The color scheme is fantastic. Black with the pale orange. That looks great. I like the 6 o'clock date. I like this little border that kind of goes around, and then it goes around the date window in a very interesting way. I love the guilloche style here. The logo's cool. It's a really cool looking watch. I think it's Australian. The lume is looking really cool. You can dress it down, and I think that looks really good too. So looks-wise, it's really a standout. It's kind of the same specs as the other ones in the C grade. And for GADA watch, I do like to see, I think the ideal was having some numbers, like the Rolex Explorer, like a 369 sort of thing. Because this is more formal. It doesn't have a high field vibe. Total score of 74. 55th place is the Bowcraft Element. 675 bucks, 40 across, 11.6 thick. Very cool colors on this, and they have a lot of colors to choose from. I do like this. This is an unusual, it's kind of a rare color to see this spring green. Lume is passable. Oh, it does have second lume. That's nice. And orientation at the top. That's good. And it looks pretty cool on a NATO as well. Score 74. 56th place, another second hour. This is the Saddleberg Mark II. 574 bucks, 40, 10.5 thick. Circular date cutout is cool. The dial has a lot of cool stuff going on here. They've chosen the upside down triangle. They've chosen to accent the 12, the 4, and the 8. So that's interesting. You don't see that often. It does have kind of a Jubilee-ish bracelet. How many links? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7-link bracelet. So that is a little fancier. Not as utilitarian as like a 3-link. Lume is looking great on this. Lume is probably not going to disappoint. You can swap it, dress it down a little. Score 74. 57th place is the Wise AD761A. 630 bucks, 39 across, 12 thick. It's looking really pretty. Wise makes pretty watches, no doubt about that. Like the bordered date window. I like these very subtle standard Arabics. That looks cool. The applied indices have a lot of presence as well. It is on that leather strap, which does make it more formal. If you want to dress it down, you can put it on a NATO. It does kind of look out of place though. It doesn't really match the character. So that's the challenge with this. Go anywhere, do anything. It's not really getting the do anything part very well. It's not really fitting the aesthetic for like construction or hiking or military. Score 74. In 58th place is the Valor A5 Field Auto. Man, there's so many that say A5. I don't know how to figure out their product designations. Yeah, that other one that looked like an Oyster Perpetual was also an A5. So I don't know what the A5 means. I think it's the size. It's 40 millimeters. This looks like it would be a full lume dial, but no, the lume is pitifully pathetic. What do I say here? Some unlumed indexes. It's not a high lume score by any means. They did have an opportunity to do full lume here. That would have been much better. It does look at home on this tan nylon strap you can get from Valor. It makes sense as a field watch. I don't know if it makes total sense as a GADA watch, but it's still passing. I think you can still make it work. Total score of 74. In 59th place is the Herodia Monte Carlo. $450. It's 40 millimeters across. It's 10 millimeters thick. Looking an awful lot like the Rolex Datejust. It's not quite the same color that Rolex does, but otherwise very, very similar. Lume shot, I could not find one, unfortunately. I do think it looks pretty cool on a gray parachute elastic strap, but there it is. If you want a Rolex homage, this is one of the options. It's a Swiss one, almost $500. Some would argue it's a good deal for a Swiss watch. I'm not totally convinced, but there it is. Score of 74. In 60th place is the About Vintage 1964 Horizon. $600, 38, beautiful size, 11.8 thick. Screw down crown, 100 meters water resistance. Love the cross-hatched knurling on the crown. I love that. The text is looking really nice here. The logo is very cool. Love the guitar pick at the 12 o'clock. Let's go here. Awesome. I think it looks pretty cool on a more outdoorsy strap as well. I could not find a lume shot for this one either, unfortunately. Total score of 73. 61st is the Venturo Field Watch 3. $451, 40 millimeters and 14 millimeters thickness. Very thick, very thick. I'm sure that's part of holding it back. It's looking darker here when we talk about the size, and it's not due to the 40 millimeters. So that thickness is really unfortunate on this one. I bet the lume's cool. Let's take a look. Lume is cool. No second lume though. It looks right at home on this fabric strap. It's kind of like an Explorer, Rolex Explorer, a little beefier, a little bit more utilitarian. I think it's a good look. I like how the case kind of steps here. That is a good look. Yeah, it's getting good everyday looks and field vibe, which is what you want in a GADA watch. Ideally, you want these both to be above a 5, and that's good evidence that you've got a GADA watch there. So this one fits the bill aesthetically, but it is awfully thick, and there's no extension on the bracelet. You have printed indices instead of applied. Stuff like that kind of hurt it. Total score 73. 62nd place is the Leico Casablanca Navy. It's $580, 39 millimeters, 11.6 thick. Let's look at the coolest thing about it. The boom full lume. Yes, that is beautiful. It's going to look at home on this navy colored parachute elastic strap as well. I think it looks really cool. It's very minimal bezel, so you get a ton of dial, and it's very classy looking, but it also has kind of a field vibe to it. So they kind of hit both. It has the black hands. Thank you. Do you see how cool that looks? It looks so cool to just have fully black hands. I really like that. It's made in Germany. Leico has a ton of brand heritage. 8 out of 10. Yeah. Unfortunate it's on a leather strap. Suppose you could put it on a PVD steel mesh if you wanted to kind of have more of an all-purpose choice rather than this black leather. It's a great watch. Score 73. 63rd is the Shinola Canfield Model C56. $750. 43, 11.3. It's a quartz. I couldn't find a lume shot, but you can see it's only the hour and minute. So that's disappointing. You do get a date. It's not really standing out as anything too special. I do think it looks cool on the steel mesh though. That is nice. Score 73. Next is the Tsao Legacy 36. A lot of whimsical colors. The pink one. The gold is too much for me. I think this was the most pleasing one they have. Maybe the silver looks better. It's a kind of a render. It's not a real product shot. Trapezoidal date at 6 o'clock is cool. I like the 3 and the 9. But yeah, let's look at it on this. I chose silicone as the alternate strap option. That looks okay. Lume looks really good actually, so I like that. And there is some lume on that second hand, even though it's a tiny, tiny amount. Still, I appreciate that. Score 73. Next is the Zelos Helica. $499, 39 millimeters, and 11.9 thick. And some people were saying like, oh, this is the best GADA watch. I think I saw somebody say that. I don't think it's the best GADA watch. It has a push-pull crown, for example. This is all low contrast. It is hard to read the time. It's all getting lost in all this pattern here. It is very cool looking. I'll give you that. It does have a nice color match date window at 6 o'clock. Zelos makes really, really cool watches. I love their case shapes. They do really interesting things. You usually get good value for money. Push-pull is probably the thing that just keeps it out of recommend. And it does technically have a passing grade if you swap it off. How can you get it any higher than this? My goodness, did I mess this one up? I might have messed this one up. This probably should have been a failing grade. Yeah, this is not recommended. Well, that was a mistake, so I changed it to not recommended. I don't recommend the Zelos Helica. It's already on a really awesome bracelet. It's just, it doesn't have any field vibe, really, at all. I mean, I think this is generous even to give it a 2. So that's unfortunate. Lume is always a high point with Zelos. They have fantastic lume. I have to get a Zelos someday. I'm such a fan of their work. This would not be the one for me. Or if it was, it would just be as like a dressy watch. It wouldn't be trying to do the GADA thing. Because this doesn't make sense. This is not a watch for your hike. Total score 72, not recommended. In 66th place is the Marlowe Haskell Field Standard. $805, 40 millimeters across, only 9.4 thick. This is another one I recommend if you swap it off the strap, because leather's not the most versatile strap option. It's suitable for a lot of scenarios, but it's not suitable for others. For example, if I go to work wearing a black belt, I suppose this is okay with it. It's not totally, it's like a paler brown, but you really want your belt and your watch strap to match if they're both leather. So, put it on something else. I mean, if you want to dress it up, you put it on probably a steel mesh. That's what gets it up to the passing score. But it's suitable in the field as well. You could probably wear it on the leather in the field just fine. In fact, if I got one strap for this, it'd just be the steel mesh. But, if you want to put it on a pass-through, that's fine too. It's looking very fieldy that way. It gets a high field vibe. Score 72. 67th place is the Sealy Velvet. It's not green. It's not duotone. There's a green one with gold hands. This is not it. $600, 40 across. Great size. People have spoken. 40 is a good size. Pretty good thickness as well. Only push-pull crown though. And yeah, you're on the leather. I showed here on a parachute elastic. That looks pretty cool, but no lume whatsoever. These hands are totally silver. Well, they're steel, but there's no lume on here on the watch. And yeah, that's the Sealy. Score 72. 68th is the Seiko Lantoris SRPJ 33. $476, 42 across, 11.7 thick. I put this in kind of thinking it would do well as a modern field watch, like the G-Shocks, because it's got this compass bezel. That's something you might use in the field. It's not a traditional field watch. There's no numbers on it. That kind of violates the rules of field watch. What's good for a traditional field watch. It's also not great for a modern field watch. Same thing, no numbers, So it's kind of in its own place. It is a very cool style. I like it. it just doesn't excel in any of the three categories I'm doing, the GADA, the traditional, and the modern. It's not really rising to the top for any of those. Technically, the score will get up above 273 and past if you swap this strap, this fabric strap, to a steel mesh, PVD steel mesh. And I apologize, this isn't fitted correctly, but that looks kind of okay. It's still kind of weird. Here, the loom looks pretty good, actually. I think you'll be happy with the loom. No loom on the bezel, but you don't really need it with the compass bezel. Score 72. All right, the cocktail time. We knew it was coming. There's cocktail times. This is one of them. One with numbers. I wanted to see how it would do. It does not pass on its own merits with this weird looking leather strap. But if you swap it, I recommend it as a GADA watch. You could put it on steel mesh and then have an alternate be this, be some kind of fabric strap for hiking or whatever. It's getting a low field vibe, even though it has the numbers. It's kind of fancy for taking in the field. It does only have a push-pull crown and 50 meters water resistance. That's not what you want in a GADA watch. You want it to be more rugged than that. So technically recommended if you swap it, but I think you can do better for GADA watch. And we're getting into more do not recommends here. The next one is the Autodromo Group C, $399, 36 millimeters, 10 thick. Again, I think I thought maybe it would work as a modern field watch, like the G-Shocks. Did not score well for that. I think it did best as a GADA watch, but it's still not great. Yeah, only 30 meters water resistance. Not recommended by me. Probably for any reason. Like, I mean, it looks kind of cool. If you think it looks cool, maybe this is the one for you. 71st place is the Laurier Falcon Series 3. It's $499, 36 across, and 11 thick. It's clearly a fan of the original 36 millimeter Rolex Explorer. It's similar but different. It's what a homage is supposed to be. You know, taking design cues from the original, but then going your own way. Different hands, different fonts here, just different things all around. Some kind of texture on the dial, different lugs and stuff. It's a cool watch, and it might do well as a traditional field watch. These 369s are not traditional, though. The traditional field watch is supposed to kind of have military time. That's really what it's supposed to be, or at least standard Arabic. So this holds it back from being a good traditional field watch. Thought it could do good as a GADA watch. Unfortunately, I don't think you're going to be swapping this bracelet extension to like a steel mesh to get the points up or whatever. It's probably still going to look best on the bracelet. It just doesn't cut it. You've got acrylic crystal, for example. That's not great on a watch you're going to wear every day. It's going to get all scratched. And I know you can buff it out, but I don't think for a GADA watch you're going to want to have to baby it. I think you just want to wear it all the time and it looks good. So it's an option, not the best option, in my opinion. Next, 72nd place, the Radia Trinity Black Vintage. Looks so cool. It's 200 meters water resistance. It does have a screw down crown. Great size, 38.5. Let's look at the loom. Very cool. I love the green and blue. That is fantastic. It does actually look pretty cool on a hiking style strap. It doesn't really hit that field vibe, but it kind of does a little bit. 3 out of 10. Just not rising to the top. Score 71. Next is the Molnia Grand TCB. It's looking utilitarian. It's also looking a little bit elevated with the guilloche dial and the Dauphine hands. It's cool, but I could not find a loom shot. Put it on a more utilitarian strap. I think that looks cool too, instead of this basket weavy deal. Technically recommended if you put it on steel mesh or something like that, but again, not top of the class. Score 71. 74th is the Sternglass Naus, $469. It's a 38. That's a good size. It's 12 thick. It's got that Bauhaus design down. Automatic with just a K, no C. That's cool. But it's 50 meters water resistance, push-pull crown. If you want the Bauhaus experience, I think you go up to Nomos or something. Or, yeah, is it Nomos? Go up higher and you'll get a thinner watch. You'll get a little bit more heritage, that sort of thing. Is there loom? Apparently there is some loom. Like, I think these long slashes are loomed or something. And then tiny strips of loom on these hands. But it's not great. Score 71. Another stern glass, the stern glass Lumatic, bronze. Ooh, it's Lumatic. Same dimensions as the last one, just kind of a subtle different variation of the last one. This time you get standard Arabics. It's bronze. Bronze is not the best for GADA watch. I think it's penalized for the aesthetic look of bronze. I'm pretty sure that's part of the penalty here. Yeah, and it does limit your strap choices. It says recommend if strap swap up here. That's if you swap it to a silicone, because you're not going to do a steel mesh. That would look really weird. If you want to take it hiking, I think it's suitable. You could put it on a brown strap or something like that. Loom is so cool. They did a great job on the loom. I definitely like that. Score 71. Here's the Atlantic Sea Cloud in 76th place. I don't know. 73rd of the ones that's possible for me to recommend. I suppose you can make it more of a field watch on here, or you can make it more dressy with steel mesh. Could not find a loom shot. I don't think I'll pass on this one. 77th place is the Shinola Traveler. $650. 42 across, 12 thick. Small seconds is pretty cool. If I remember, the loom is actually good on this. I don't have a loom shot. You can see a little loom on the small seconds second hand, loom counterbalance. It looks like the loom's going to be good, but who knows for sure. And yeah, you can dress it up on a steel mesh. I think that's the way to go if you want to dress it up. It is a quartz. Total score of 70. The Merci LMM01. I really like the style of these things, but they're not quite up to where they should be. There's no loom on it at all. It's 50 meters push-pull crown. It's shown here on bond clip bracelet, which is not very elevated. If you go to a wedding, it's going to look a little bit rough. Or if you go to a graduation, go to the opera with this thing. The case head looks great, but the bracelet they give you, the bond clip, which costs extra. You have to pay extra for the bond clip. Not the best. It is a hand-winding watch, though. That's pretty cool. Mécanique. I do like it. It's not a great GADA watch. Score 69. Next is the Stova Marine Classic 36. 36 millimeters. And good dimensions on this. It's kind of expensive. The blued hands look beautiful. Stova knows how to make quality. Even the onion crown, it looks so good. Not a great GADA watch. No loom, no date. Leather strap is limiting. Score 69. 80th is the Shoreham Snowden. And first look at this, I thought that looks like a pretty cool GADA watch. But again, like so many of these, there's just a lot of things that are not great about it. Brand strength is a huge limiter here. That holds it back for sure. It is nice to have that dual time hand. Not so nice to have the poor contrast. The bracelet does not have an extension. That held it back for me. And there's no field vibe whatsoever. It's totally a dressy thing. A lot of these ones, they just don't make it because they're too dressy. Some of them don't make it because they're too utilitarian. Some don't make it because they're too dressy. This is too dressy. 81st place, we have the J & Berg B2. Great dimensions, 39 by 10.6. That's pretty cool. Let's look at the loom. Loom is passable. There is a strip of loom on that second. That's nice. It's going to look at home on a NATO, black NATO. I think that'll look good. The default strap is not very dressy though. So that's where you get in trouble. Are you going to have to buy a black leather strap to dress this thing up? That's the challenge here. And that limits it because people buy it out of the box wanting it to be go anywhere, do anything. It's not go anywhere, do anything, in my opinion, out of the box because it's got this fabric-y strap. Cool colors though. You get brown and gold as alternate options. I think the gold is pretty cool. Score 69. 82nd place, the Houtman Murchison. No loom. Yeah, a lot of... Okay, maybe I should say what I like about the watches too. I like the black hands. Not very much brand strength. It does seem expensive. There's a lot of critiques I could give. This is the optional bracelet. I think you might have to pay more for the bracelet. Hopefully I bake that into the price. Not the best GADA watch, 69. And this is a beaut. In 83rd place, the Venezianico Arsenale, $800, 40 millimeters, 9 millimeters thick. It looks so darn cool. It looks really, really cool. I just can't recommend it as a GADA watch. It's too dressy. That's the thing. Go anywhere, do anything doesn't mean the best looking watch on the planet. It means you can take it in the field. You can take it all sorts of scenarios, more casual scenarios as well. I think this is more of a dress watch or maybe just a business watch. I'm coming up with that idea right now, the idea of a business watch. And I think this would work well for that. But you don't have a date. It's beautiful. I love the cross. It's a cool brand from what I've heard. I've heard it's a Christian brand. That's cool and all, and beautiful designs, really beautiful watches, but not the best GADA watch. There's no lume on this thing, for example. 84th place, the Baltic HMS 002. $400, 38, 13 thick, kind of normal watch proportions. I think it's good. Only push-pull crown, 50 meters water resistance, acrylic crystal. It is a beauty though. As before, it's mostly dressy, not a very fieldy kind of watch. Although I gave it 6 out of 10 for field. It helps to have the standard numerals here, just under, and it's under enough that even swapping the strap doesn't bring it up to 73. So not recommended by me. And the last one it's possible for me to recommend is the Unimatic U4 Classic UC4. $465, 40 millimeters across, 13.7. It's getting thicker. That's probably because of the 300 meters water resistance. That's a lot of water resistance. It's looking very utilitarian, but check this out. On a steel mesh, you can kind of dress it up. You can kind of make the case that it's suitable if you're in a suit. Maybe you could wear this in a suit. It's possible. Lume is looking good on this. Big pip on the counterbalance of the second. That's nice. It's possible for me to recommend it. The NATO strap is a huge penalty for a GADA watch. So, put it on a steel mesh, and that brings the score way, way up. Score 68. All right, and from here on out, none of these are recommended GADA watches. So 86th place, we've got the Avaro Smoky 64. It's probably a good traditional field watch. Actually, I can't remember how well this does, but it's not a great GADA watch, in my opinion. Total score 68. 87th is the Grayton Native. Kind of just looking like a date just and not recommended. Next is the Molnia ACHS-1 3.1. Yeah, it's probably an acronym I should know. Oh yeah, the CH is the CHA. It's just this single symbol in Cyrillic. It's huge is the thing, 44. It's a big watch. The ratio of lug width to diameter is way off. It's a tiny little strap for this huge watch head. That's odd. Cathedral hands look cool though. Score a 66. Next is the Mundane Stop-to-Go watch. No crown. How do you set this thing? It might be on the back or something. I can't remember exactly how, but yeah, 30 meters is not what you want in probably any modern watch. It's wild they still do that. It's more of a dress watch. Maybe it's a good business watch. I'm just now thinking that's a possible thing. It does this cool thing where it stops at the top for 2 seconds before it jumps over to the second mark. I forget why, but they had some reason they thought that was good to do. That's cool, but not recommended as a GADA watch. Next is the Braun BN0278 automatic. I don't know if you can swap the strap. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. These Brauns are really expensive, $600. And it doesn't look like a $600 watch to me. It really looks more like $50. It does not look like it should have $600 price tag. And I know it is an automatic movement. It does not look like a watch that should cost that much. Score 65. All right, final four. In 91st place is the Von Doren Runde. $394, 39 across. I mean, the dimensions are great on this. 10.7. Another example of a great dress watch, not a great GADA watch. This is not going to be at home in the mountains or on the tennis court or wherever you're going with your watch where you just want it to fit in wherever you go. It's not going to fit in wherever you go. It's too classy. Next, we've got the Strand Henge. Cool what they did with the bezel. I like that. It's looking kind of rough though, but also a dress watch, a rough looking dress watch on leather. Not a great GADA watch. 93rd place is the Vague Watch Company Ever1. Another love letter to that original Rolex Explorer. This one is only 34 millimeters. That definitely hurts it. But it's 14 thick. Why is it so thick? They need to fix that and it's almost 500. It's 500 bucks. It's a weird one. There's other good Rolex Explorer homages that don't have the problems of this one, the huge thickness and tiny size and whatnot. Score 62. And in last place, the last of the quality. Wait, am I in quality? Yes, quality. The last of the quality GADA watches, maybe not with the greatest quality, the Tissot Aspire. Push-pull crown, 50 meters water resistance. Didn't make the cut. Total score 61. And now for the top 5. In 5th place, we have the Traska Summiteer 38, $615, 38 millimeters across, 10.5 thick. Beautiful watch, 100 meter screw down crown, sapphire crystal, all the good stuff. Great lume. It's going to look right at home hiking. I think it's going to look good at your wedding too, especially the black one. There is no date on this, but that does aid in the balance of the watch, the symmetry. Very simple, very nice. Clearly Rolex Explorer inspired, but they forged their own path with this one, and I like it a lot. Total score of 84. 4th place is the SWC Tumbler. $650. It's a 41, and it's only 10 thick. These are nice and thin in the top 5. This one also has no date. They've also been inspired by the Explorer and forged a new path. It's a common theme. Lume is fantastic, and it's going to look good on a field type strap. They come in a lot of different fun colors, and it's a titanium case with case hardening. A nice movement in here. So yeah, this is a good one. Score of 85. 3rd place in the quality price range is the Halios Universa. $735, 38 millimeters, only 11 thick. This one has a push-pull crown, unfortunately. All the other ones in the top 5 have screw down, but it does have nice anti-reflective coating. They forged a new path with the Explorer design language. I like these little squares for the indexes. And the lume is great. Having big chunks for these indexes means good lume. You get second lume. It's going to look at home on a parachute elastic strap. This one also has some fun colors. The bracelet is really nice on this one, has an extension. Yeah, this is a fantastic watch. Fantastic GADA watch in this really appealing price range where, I say quality. It's a quality watch. That's what I call its price range, where you're spending a good chunk of money, but you're not going crazy. I like the case shape, sort of a skin divery style lugs here. It's a good one. Score of 87. 2nd place, getting the silver, is the Sangen Kingmaker. $759, 39 across, only 10.5. This has so much quality to it. It's got a Faraday cage, so magnetism, don't worry about it. It's not going to get magnetized. I love the accented red here. It's so thin, 10.5, that is beautiful. It comes with a wonderful bracelet extension, which is really nice. I actually wanted to grab this one. I don't quite have the funds. I was thinking, but unfortunately they are out of stock. They're already sold out for their pre-order. I don't even think you can get these yet, but hopefully they'll make more. I really hope they make more of these. They look so good. And then it's got a color match date, 200 meters water resistance screw down crown. I couldn't find a lume shot though. That is a disappointment. I don't know why they don't have one on the website. It's going to look great on a field strap too. In fact, I think they sell it with both if you get the bracelet. So this is fantastic. This is kind of my pick in this price range. It's the Sangen Kingmaker. All right, what's in number 1? What is the number 1 GADA watch in the quality category? It's the Citizen ProMaster Tough BN0241. Only $460, 41 size, so you're gonna get good wrist presence, but it's 14 thick. That is the downside on this one. Everything else is just amazing. The thickness is the downside. It is a solar movement. Solar quartz is awesome. Very resilient. You don't have to worry about the battery. Another downside is no extension on the bracelet. Yeah, the Sang and the Halios and the Traska all had extensions on the bracelet. This one also has a case hardening for the titanium case, titanium bracelet. Beautiful. That case hardening is going to help so much, help you not get scratches. It's going to look totally at home on a field strap. I think it's going to look good everywhere. It's just a good all-rounder. The loom is really strong, but you don't get any on the second hand. But loom is not the most important thing with the GADA watch. So those were all the watches in the quality price range, $375 to $850. I had a lot of fun with this one. It's a good price range to find a quality GADA watch. The Alpinist, the PRX, the Baby Alpinist, the Citizen Zenshin, that is a sleeper. My face is covering the top 5, but you just saw them. Yeah, fantastic watches in this price range. Next one will come out Thursday, July 3rd, and it'll be the premium price range, $875 to $2,500. And now for the final segment. Those of you who watch my channel know I like to talk about the Bible at the end, and that's what I'm going to do now. All right, Bible time. Usual caveat, I'm not a pastor or biblical scholar. I just like sharing the Word of God with people. And today I'm continuing our exploration of the Galatians 5 passage on the fruits of the Spirit. And today's fruit is number 8, gentleness. The passage is, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there's no law. Those who belong to Christ Jesus have crucified the flesh with its passions and desires." Yeah, my kids have a song for this, and so yeah. Anyway, the Greek word is Strong's 4236, praotes, or praotes. It means gentleness, humility, and meekness, according to my study Bible. The KJV version, King James Version, actually uses meekness in Galatians 5. I think that's appropriate. Gentleness implies like physical action, like you're not hitting people, but like you'll see in the passages which follow, this mostly has to do with your demeanor, not like physical things you're doing. It's not like, oh, be gentle when you pet the dog's head, instead of my 2-year-old. Yeah, we went to the zoo and they said, gentle, touch. She was touching some animal, touch it gently. And then they go, oh, because they, the zookeeper is like, I don't know. Yeah, anyway. So that's not the kind of gentleness we're talking about really, but anyway, there aren't a ton of examples in the New Testament of this word. There's actually other Greek words that mean gentleness as well. I think meekness is probably good for this. Anyway, we'll dive into that. And there are a few times, like the Galatians passage, where it's just in a list with other things, and so you don't really get context that way. If it's just a standalone, like, desirable quality in a list of desirable qualities, that doesn't tell you anything about what the word actually means from context. So I'll give you a few notable passages with the word praotes. I don't have any 3-point outline, but maybe I'll focus on 3. Yeah, let me focus on 3 different meanings of the word: the meekness, the gentleness, and the humility. All right, I'll start with meekness. And there's overlap to these words. That's always the challenge with this, is like a lot of words in any language have overlap with other words. And so trying to find out the specificity of a particular word is difficult. You end up pulling in other words to explain it, and then it's just a complicated exercise. But I'm going to read a bunch of passages, and something clear emerges from the Bible about what this word means. So starting with meekness, we'll take 2 Corinthians 10, verses 1 through 5. "I, Paul, myself entreat you, by the meekness and gentleness of Christ, I who am humble when face to face with you, but bold toward you when I am away, I beg you that when I am present I may not have to show boldness with such confidence as I count on showing against some who suspect us of walking according to the flesh. For though we walk in the flesh, we are not waging war according to the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not of the flesh, but have divine power to destroy strongholds. We destroy arguments and every lofty opinion raised against the knowledge of God, and take every thought captive to obey Christ, being ready to punish every disobedience when your obedience is complete." There's some major themes in there. But yeah, this fleshes out the idea of praotes, which was mentioned very early in that passage, meaning having a meek/humble approach to our interactions. We do not wage war in our discourse as the world does, according to the flesh. And I don't, this is just a parenthetical, but I don't think this passage means you can't be a soldier, you can't have self-defense or anything. I don't subscribe to the non-violent view, to the purely non-violent view, like you can't even defend your family or something. I don't subscribe to that. And there's a lot of strong biblical reason. Number one being that we need to love each other. And so part of loving my family is protecting them from harm. That's a parenthetical. I'll continue about what meekness actually means. And it was clear to me in that context above, Paul's talking about his interactions with other people in the church, his evangelization with other people. He's talking about destroying arguments and so forth. Meekness and gentleness is presented here in the context of you're talking to other people, you're trying to correct faulty doctrine, you're trying to convince others of arguments. The goal is to win souls and bring people closer to Christ. Yes, we destroy faulty arguments with boldness, like he mentioned, but we also subvert the world's expectations with our meekness and humility. I think of Wesley Huff, who has gained great attention in Christian circles after his Joe Rogan interview. You should definitely watch that if you haven't. It's really cool. It's really interesting, and it's a very long interview, of course. But Wes Huff was bold when necessary, destroying arguments, but he was also really humble as well. He's a good evangelist. I think he's full of this fruit of the Spirit, just based on what I've seen. When he's been in conversations with non-believers, it's clear he's full of this particular fruit of the Spirit, praotes. He does have that meekness. He's not condescending, anything like that. And it comes across strongly to everyone who's watched his work. All right, another passage, James 3:13. Who is wise and understanding among you? By his good conduct, let him show his works in the meekness of wisdom. But if you have bitter jealousy, selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to the truth. This is not the wisdom that comes down from above, but it is earthly, unspiritual, demonic. Boasting is demonic. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice. But the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle. It's a different gentle. It's not the same as praotes. Open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere, and a harvest of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. James is saying that our actions speak louder than our words. And our demeanor, having a proud, not meek, a proud demeanor, it makes your message kind of unhearable to others. If we have good conduct, we can show our works in the meekness of wisdom. So the wisdom isn't beat over people's head. It should be presented more meekly. The meaning of words is often shown in the contrast. So he points out that if we have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition, pride, we will not be meek with our wisdom and will instead create disorder. So that's not going to convince anybody if you're just adversarial. And I'm starting to get overlap with some of my other points, but of course there is overlap because this word meekness carries with it multiple elements. But that leads me to the next one, gentleness. That's the word that was used in the translation I used, which was NIV. Gentleness, not aggressive. So that's, I guess meekness was kind of not aggressive too, but let's explore gentleness a little bit. Okay, the first one is Titus 3, verse 1 through 2. Remind the people to be subject to rulers and authorities, to be obedient, to be ready to do whatever is good, to be peaceable and considerate, and always to be gentle toward everyone. And interestingly, in the King James Version, they use the word meekness here instead of gentle. But, my point here is gentle, so we'll stick with that. And, okay, I'll read the full King James Version because this is interesting. My point here is not aggressive. So the King James Version reads, put them in mind to be subject to principalities and powers, to obey magistrates, to be ready to every good work, to speak evil of no man, to be no brawlers, but gentle, showing all meekness unto all men. So I mentioned that because they had the antonym of brawling. So brawling kind of being the opposite of praotes. You know, whether it's physical brawling or if it's verbal brawling, the point of the fruit of the Spirit, praotes, is kind of contrary to that. It's not aggressive. It's not confrontational. It's not getting into brawls. You know, as Paul said earlier, there is a point to speaking boldly and standing for the truth and not backing down. But we're talking about demeanor. I think the demeanor needs to be soft in a lot of scenarios. And that's important to evangelize effectively. So yeah, there's a lot of nuance to this. And the Bible's clear that we are to be gentle. Here's another passage, 1 Peter 1, verses 13 to 17. Now who is there to harm you if you are zealous for what is good? But even if you should suffer for righteousness' sake, you will be blessed. Have no fear of them, nor be troubled, but in your hearts honor Christ the Lord as holy, always being prepared to make a defense to anyone who asks you for a reason for the hope that is in you. That's sort of the boldness part. Always being prepared to make a defense. Yet do it with gentleness and respect. There we go. There's a lot of consistency with all these passages. I'll continue with the rest of this. Having a good conscience, so that when you are slandered, those who revile your good behavior in Christ may be put to shame. For it is better to suffer for doing good, if that should be God's will, than for doing evil. This is fleshing out the principle of turning the other cheek. The famous command from Jesus to turn the other cheek when we're attacked. Now, does that mean physically you can't fight back? No, I think when lives are in danger, that's a different situation. Most of the time, you know, when you get slapped, your life is not in danger. That's when you turn the other cheek, when you get slapped. You accept the verbal punishment. You suffer for doing good. That's virtually guaranteed if you're a Christian and you're interacting with people and sharing your faith. It is virtually guaranteed you are going to suffer in some way because of it. You should not try to retaliate, is what the Bible is saying here. Gentleness and respect, having a good conscience. If your heart and your demeanor are in the right place, then you will be exhibiting this fruit of the Spirit of praotes. And you still probably will suffer for doing good. That's okay. It is better to suffer for doing good, if that should be God's will, than for doing evil. And that's why I'm reading the full passage. It really fleshes it out. It's very hard to get understanding of a word just from one verse. So that's why I do longer passages. All right, the third meaning, humility. So we had meekness and then gentleness, not being aggressive. The last one is humility. And it's been covered a little bit before with previous passages as well. Like I said, there's overlap, but not being pride. Humility and pride are opposites. First passage, I have a couple passages. James 1, verse 19 through 22. Know this, my beloved brothers, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. For the anger of man does not produce the righteousness of God. That is a very important principle. Therefore, put away all filthiness and rampant wickedness, and receive with meekness the implanted word which is able to save your souls. But be doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. Yeah, there's a contrast with anger. Praotes, contrasted with anger. And the reason I brought up humility here is because anger so often comes from fear. Fear often comes from when our pride is damaged, then we get angry. And so when our pride is damaged, we have this fear, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthwhile because this person hates me, whatever it is. Then comes the fear, then comes the anger, the backlash against this person. And that's all from pride. Pride is the underlying engine of all that discord. Again, humility being the opposite of pride. If we're humble, we're not as likely to get upset, to get angry when somebody slanders us. So we can't do this evangelizing correctly if we're too proud. There has to be humility. Receive with meekness the implanted word. The word has been implanted into believers, and the implanted word is able to save our souls. That implanted word is what we're trying to share with others. It can save our souls. Our works don't save our souls. It's the implanted word that does. And that's what we're trying to share with others. And if that word takes root, it is not our doing. There has to be humility. And good preachers have always said this as well, that you bring the gospel to people, they accept or reject. If they accept it, it's not due to the preacher. It's due to the word itself. We cannot take any pride in that. It calls to mind Ephesians 2, verse 8 through 9. For it is by grace you have been saved through faith. And this is not from yourselves, it is the gift of God. My salvation is not my work. It's not the work of whoever brought me the gospel either. It is due to the implanted word, the word of God. It is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast. None of us should be boasting. For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. The works are good. We should do good works. God prepared for us good works to do. But we have to have humility about it. It's by grace we have been saved through faith. Yeah, to properly evangelize, we must have praotes. It's a gift of the Spirit. It comes from God. When we're in that state, we can be of maximum effectiveness. And it requires a gentle, humble, meek spirit. There must not be hypocrisy either. That's a point I didn't really touch on, but there were a few different passages where they talked about the need for a believer to be without hypocrisy, to live a righteous life themselves. I'm a firm believer that we have to follow God's commandments in order to truly walk with Him. And I think in order to receive the fruits of the Spirit, we do have to live a righteous life. Our actions speak louder than our words. People will see what we do. Our demeanor must not be adversarial. We can destroy faulty arguments, but we do it in a spirit of love for the person we're talking to, with the goal of winning souls, not being victorious in an argument. We're not waging war according to the flesh. The NIV version of that, not waging war according to the flesh, that one said, we do not wage war as the world does. You'll see people shouting at each other, all this sort of thing. We don't try to convince people that way. That's not effective. It's not the way to do it. So that's all I have on the word praotes, gentleness, the 8th fruit of the Spirit. Next time, I'm going to cover the 9th fruit of the Spirit, self-control. I'm sure there's a lot about it. Does it come from the self? Does self-control come from the self? We'll look at that next time. And now for a prayer. Lord, please fill us with the Holy Spirit. Please give me this praotes, give me the meekness when I'm talking to others. Please help me not to be proud or boastful, but to present the word to people simply and plainly, for it to be implanted in them, for it to do the work that you have set out for it to do. Lord, I thank you so much for your word. Thank you so much for dying on the cross to save sinners. Lord, I come to you as a sinner, and I eagerly await the day when I will receive a new body and have that sin removed from me as far as the east is from the west. Look forward to that happy day. And Lord, I also look forward to today in which you've placed good works before me to perform. Please help me to perform those works dutifully in service to you, and to you be all the glory. I pray this all in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Now may the Lord of peace himself give you peace always and in every way. The Lord be with you all. See you next time.